Grief and outrage tonight over a humanitarian crisis of biblical proportions. The photographs, impossible to unsee. That image of a toddler drowned trying to reach a better life, and the story behind it, just one of thousands who've died at sea as smugglers ferry those desperate for the refuge of Europe. Here's ABC's chief foreign correspondent, Terry Moran.
It's become the image of the refugee crisis in Europe. The disturbing photo of a lifeless Syrian boy washed up on a Turkish beach. Now we know his name. Alan Kurdi, 3 years old. He drowned, along with his mother Reyhan, his 5-year-old brother Galip, and at least 10 other refugees. Abdullah Kurdi, father and husband, the lone survivor, still in shock today, muttering, "Everything is gone." The family, Syrian Kurds from near Kobane. The town was nearly leveled in a battle with ISIS this year, and so they fled to Turkey, paying smugglers there more than $5,000 to help them cross to a Greek island in a 15-foot rubber boat. They came to this beach. ABC was there this week when another refugee group waded through the surf, piling into the flimsy dinghy, children lifted in, heading into the waves by flashlight. Today, Abdullah Kurdi remembered how he desperately held one boy in each arm when the boat went over, keeping their heads above water. But they tired, so did his wife, and he lost them all. At the morgue today, identifying the bodies, he says, "My kids were the most beautiful children in the world."
I can't even imagine any father or any mother, their kids to die in their arm.
Abdullah's sister Tima had been waiting by the phone in Vancouver, Canada. She had tried to bring the family there earlier this year.
It's a wake-up call. My brother said to me, it's my kids. Has to be the wake-up call for the whole world. And he said to me, my message to the world, help those people crossing that water. I don't want any family to drown anymore. I don't want to see it.
The Kurdi family are among the hundreds of thousands from the Middle East and Africa who have been fleeing their battle-worn and poverty-stricken countries, the biggest mass migration in Europe since World War II. They come through Turkey, then to Greece, Macedonia, and Serbia in the Balkans, into Hungary, finally Austria, Germany, and the rest of Europe. At least 350,000 refugees and migrants have illegally entered Europe just so far this year. That's nearly triple the number all last year. And many have perished along the way. More than 3,000 migrant deaths so far this year. Even for those who survive and make it to Europe, the crushing realization that they are not welcome. The country's buckling under the influx. Chaos in Hungary, that Budapest train station, men and women squeezing through windows, others pushing, pulling, even climbing their way into the train cars.
Too many people is in the train, children and girls, a lot of family.
Many more stranded on the platform for hours on end. No help comes. Thousands of refugees fighting to board, hoping to get to Germany.
Most of the people say that this train is going to Germany, so therefore we get in this train.
But the train stops at a Hungarian village an hour later. Desperate families wrestling with police ordered by European law to process them to refugee camps. Many refusing to go. This couple curled up with their toddler on the train tracks as police struggled to pull them off. Hundreds remain aboard this train car, which they believed was headed to the Austrian border, only to be stopped short on their long road to a better life. In Izmir, Turkey, little 10-month-old Fahad and his family are waiting to cross to Greece, the same perilous journey that shattered Alan Kurdi's family. They're Syrian. There's Fahad, his mom Batul, his dad Mohammed, his brother and 2 sisters. Mohammed was a career military man in Syria, a steady job and a nice house too, he tells us. Have you ever felt that you want to give up? That's it, she remembers, of a particularly bad time. We were going to go back. She is 29 years old. Here in Turkey, many refugees head to the same place. It's where you can find the smugglers, the middlemen, the gangsters who can get you across to Greece. Pasmane, the neighborhood's called. The smugglers here are charging $1,100 for adults, half price for kids. That's a life savings for many. The risks in these open boats are unspeakable. Local merchants are profiting on the desperation.
This is a life preserver? It looks like a toy. It says, this is not a life-saving device. This is for a little child.
The store owner didn't want us around after that. This year, more than 2,300 migrants from across the Middle East and Africa have drowned in the Mediterranean trying to get to Europe.
You can't even stand up. Miserable conditions.
In June, my ABC colleague Alex Marquardt saw firsthand how squalid and dangerous this passage is, joining a search and rescue operation off the coast of Libya.
We're here to help you. How many people are you on the boat? 500? 560.
For kids. Hey, sit down.
Every square inch of this top deck filled with people, and they tell us there are 300 more down below.
For families heading to Greece from Turkey, the boats are usually small, the dangers just as great.
We're taking the easy way to Greece. We're on a ferry. That is Turkey over there. 8 miles across the water is the island of Chios. That's Greece. The channel right now on a summer's evening looks very calm, but it can be treacherous, and that is where the Syrian refugees are desperate to get to.
We land on the Greek island of Chios, and just down the road from the docks,
We made it.
there they are, Mohammed and his family. They made it. I thought I was going to die, Mohammed tells me. Their cell phone videos show how packed that rubber boat was, the fear on the children's faces, and the seas got very rough later.
The boat was so rough on the seas that all of your bags and all of your belongings went into the water?
Everything, he says. They're exhausted, no place to go, but they're in Greece together and on their way to Germany, if they can make it there. Back in Turkey, a different father, the father of Alan and Galib, harbored the same dream of a better life for them, but his journey is now over. All I want to do is sit by the graves of my wife and children, he says. For Nightline, I'm Terry Moran.
Our thanks to Terry Moran for his ongoing coverage of the migrant crisis.